Here's some ground rules for running your town hall meeting. First, all opinions and suggestions will be heard. We want to hear from anyone who wants to say what they need to say. Second, there's no interrupting, okay? We're going to follow an agenda, so you don't just, blurt out whatever you want to say anytime. There's no interrupting. All questions are going to be left to the Q&A. So we're going to provide time for questions. You can ask whatever you want, but you have to wait till that Q&A time comes. And attendance is mandatory. We want everyone to be there so that everyone hears the same information. Here's a sample agenda for your town hall meeting. First, you're going to eat. It's critical. People are happy when they eat. I'm happy when I eat. Then we're going to have a state of the company by the CEO. So the CEO is just going to state the wins, the things that could be better, kind of frame the year past or the quarter past for everyone so that they can put it in context and make meaning of it. Then we're going to talk about the one-page plan. We're going to roll it out or review it depending on when we're having the town hall. If it's at the beginning of the year, we're going to say, hey, here's what's coming for the year. If it's partway through, we're going to look at how we're doing so far against the plan. Then we're going to have a Q&A time where everyone has a chance to talk. We're going to give out some awards and give some recognition to people. And we're going to end with an inspirational story. We always want people fired up and leaving on a high note, feeling warm, feeling excited about the future. Now let's walk through this agenda piece by piece. So the first thing I recommend you do is eat. People who have just eaten are happier people. I know I am, aren't you? If I ever do a meeting and they serve really good food and lots of it and a full breakfast or whatever it is, I just know people are going to be happier and the meeting is going to go much smoother because we're all happier when we've eaten. So make sure that you serve some food. But here's the twist. Have leaders serve the food. I think this is a really important symbol to say that we're here to serve you. All the people at the town hall are often perceived in their own minds as serving the leaders, but we want to show that we're the biggest servants of all. So we serve them the food. So make sure that the leaders are dishing up the food and serving people and acting as servants throughout that town hall meeting. Next, the leader is going to give a state of the company address. So think of this as the president giving the State of the Union. The leader is sharing wins and EBIs, those even better ifs, and they are putting into context what the last quarter or year was about. The leader has the power to frame in people's minds, why are we here and what was this year about? For instance, maybe at the end of a COVID year, it's our job for over the last year was to survive and to emerge with everyone having a job. That's a great goal. Or maybe our year last year was about acquiring new business or bringing on new people. This was what our year was about, and this was what we accomplished. Then moving on and saying, what is the next quarter or the next year going to be about? And projecting into the future and just saying, this next year, our focus is going to be about this. It rallies people and it just gives them some perspective of what we're about and what we're doing and why what they're doing matters and what their part in it is. Now it's time to roll out that one-page plan and have the leader talk about what the plan is all about. What initiatives are we undertaking that matter to everyone? List them and give some details. I remember one time doing a 2-day company retreat with a company in a downtown hotel. It was beautiful. There were about 45 people there from all over North America. We did all sorts of things. We played games. We went out for meals. We had sessions. People were presenting things. We had speakers and everything. And at the end, I held a big huddle and I said, all 45 people were in a huddle. And I said, what was the most meaningful time of this 2-day meeting that we had? And again, it came up. The most meaningful thing was having the CEO describe our one-page plan to us and just say, where are we going? What are our 5-year goals? What are our 1-year goals? What are those pieces that matter to everyone? Depending on your crowd, probably the numerical targets don't matter so much to everyone, but those goals, like what are the initiatives? What are we trying to achieve really does matter. And when you go over that with your team, they're really going to appreciate it. Now it's time to do the Q&A. Pretty simple. We just take questions from anyone. But I'm going to give you a tip about the Q&A that I have learned, and I've learned it the hard way. You control that Q&A and you never put it at the end, because here's inevitably what's going to happen. You've had a great up meeting. We've all eaten. You've told stories and everything. Then you drop that Q&A in at the end and someone ends with a question, why is this company so stupid? And the energy in the meeting just crashes and everyone leaves feeling like, oh, that was a total downer. So you never let them decide how they're going to leave the room. You're going to control that with your inspirational story. But At this part, just make sure that you hear from everyone, you take questions, and you answer those questions as best you can. Now it's time for awards and recognition. Everybody loves this part. These include things like core values awards. Lots of companies that I work with give out various types of awards. Core values, most valuable player, all-star award, the quality award, whatever those awards are, they're a great idea, by the way. If you don't do this, I would really suggest doing it because it spotlights those things, those behaviors that you want repeated. People do what gets rewarded, so make sure you're rewarding the behavior that you want to see. Might include things like long service awards or other forms of recognition that you give out in your company. Do that now. Whenever you run a town hall meeting, it's really important that you control the pacing of the meeting because it's structured to fire people up and to have people leave feeling like, I'm so glad I chose this company to work for. I remember one time doing a town hall meeting with a company and they brought people in from all over the region, and we set an agenda and we decided on how it was all going to work out, and it was like a well-oiled machine. We fed people. People are always happy when they eat. Leaders served the food. We gave out awards for long service, for core values. We shared exciting initiatives. We told an inspirational story. We took questions, and we were just about to send them up on a high note when one of the leaders put up his hand and said, there's just something I need to say. And I thought, I don't like it. So he got up and here's what he said. This is a version of what he said. He said, you know how much insurance costs are going up in this business? And you know why? It's because some of you are not obeying the insurance protocols and the safety protocols that we have. And he went on to detail this big spank. So everyone got a big spank. And then he said, okay, now you can leave. And here's how the town hall went. Lots of energy and enthusiasm. And it was all botched because they didn't control the pacing of the meeting. Remember, we're there to fire people up. So you want to make sure that you do the order that I'm suggesting so that your town hall meeting leaves and people feel on a real high note and they're excited when they leave.